this episode of Haunted Travels, we visit a location that's potentially haunted by gamblers, drinkers, wounded Civil War soldiers en route after and before the Battle of McDowell, as well as family members and children who once resided here. We're here in our hometown of Staunton, Virginia. We're going to be embarking on a journey tomorrow to go to the Buckhorn Inn on the other side of Churchville, Virginia. It's a location that's been on our radar for some time to investigate and just spend some time there. And I think for me, what really resonates so much about it is just the history associated with the inn. It's so beautiful and peaceful, but yet it has such an interesting history, and that really resonates with me. It used to be a stagecoach stop along the Staunton Parkersburg Turnpike back in the day. It also served as a Civil War hospital after the Battle of McDowell in 1862. So yeah, I'm excited to go, very much excited.
Well, many things interest me about the Buckhorn Inn. First of all, it's a big, beautiful country southern style house. It's beautiful. I actually grew up going to the Buckhorn. I've always lived in Augusta County, and the Buckhorn was well known for amazing food, a place where people got together to socialize and just have a great time. Love the peanut butter pie. Many people that I grew up knowing at the Buckhorn Inn, some have passed. So aside from the historical parts in the 1800s of the Buckhorn, I'm curious to see if some of the more recent entities might be there that we could talk to and maybe encounter some people that I actually knew.
I'm always interested in old houses, so any kind of old houses, old structure that people actually lived in, I have a real interest in. And this was a very social place, so I kind of feel like that this will be a place that the people may be more social with us and not afraid to speak to us. So I think it will be a really productive investigation.
Well, today is the day. It is April 29th, 2023. We are taking a short road trip from our hometown of Staunton, Virginia, along Route 250 West, as we are to meet the rest of our Black Raven Paranormal team on location. Our location on tap this weekend, one Buckhorn Inn, 14.2 miles west of Staunton, located on Hankey Mountain Road in Churchville, Virginia. This beautiful historic house dates back to 1811 and was originally known as the Dudley House, named after William Dudley. Over its deep and rich history, the inn was a well-known resting point for stagecoach travelers in that it was situated along the Staunton Parkersburg Turnpike. The location was also a gambling spot, a place to indulge in food and spirits. It was later known as the Buckhorn Tavern, where high-stakes gambling was at its peak. In 1854, Thomas Stonewall Jackson stayed at the inn on his way to Warm Springs. But back then, he was just a professor from Virginia Military Institute. He came through the area with his first wife, Eleanor, who was very sick and wanted to go to the Sulphur Springs to aid her ailments. During the American Civil War, the Battle of McDowell raged not far from the Buckhorn Tavern. General Stonewall Jackson's army defeated Union forces with total casualties between both armies a little under 700 men. It is believed that after the Battle of McDowell, Jackson's soldiers temporarily used the inn as an infirmary. That would have made perfect sense, as Jackson's army would have been traveling back along the turnpike en route to Staunton. Today, the Buckhorn Inn operates as a beautiful, peaceful, and charming bed and breakfast and restaurant. A quick stroll through the house showcases a warm, peaceful, and relaxing environment. A wonderful getaway from it all, the hustle and bustle of daily life. And the food is absolutely delightful. Dinners feature filet mignon, applewood grilled pork, and chicken Alfredo, just to name a few. Brunch is served on Saturday and Sunday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m.
I'm Jesse Glenn, and this is my story about staying in the Buckhorn Inn of West Augusta. And May 4th, 1997, we was actually on the honeymoon there, and we heard footsteps on the balcony. We went out to the balcony to check it out, and there was no one on the balcony. We looked to the field west of the building, and we see a Civil War soldier march at full march from east to west. It was a solid figure. And I tried to get him to acknowledge me, but he didn't acknowledge me. He just kept right on marching.
Our team shares many of their thoughts about the Buckhorn Inn.
More curiosity than anything. When we first arrived and went on the tour, we were upstairs in the poker room, and it was a female presence that came up behind me, wanted me to know that she was there. More curiosity than anything, like who we were, what we were here for, and what our intentions are tonight. When we got here this afternoon for our tour, this was one of our first stops that we came to. On coming through the threshold of the door, there was the spirit that ran up behind me, very curious, wanting to know probably who I was, what I was doing here, and what we're going to be doing tonight. I think they have an idea, but approach it with an open mind, keep your eyes and ears open, and allow yourself to experience things. Just don't go in with a negative attitude.
What do you think about the location of Buckhorn Inn?
It's beautiful.
Were you able to get a lot of good photographs here?
I was.
We survey the area outside the Buckhorn Inn. We notice the wooded area and the hill behind the inn, as well as the running stream, which we believe can be a conduit for increased paranormal activity. We decide to go inside and interview some of the Buckhorn Inn staff. We speak with Amanda Cox and Krista Bliss about their personal experiences here at the inn.
So this floor, my very first one would be the orange juice on our counter in the bar. So our orange juice, gallon size, it was halfway filled. Being a mom, everything goes middle. I and a former waitress here walked into the bar. As we were walking into the bar, here goes the orange juice. Just like somebody just took it and went boop, and knocked it off. Not aggressively, just kind of like a cat almost. The second one would be the female that I finally heard. That would be in the kitchen. We came to clean and do stuff one day, and I was over by our dryer, sitting there switching clothes over. He was somewhere, and all of a sudden I heard, oh la la la. Couldn't make out anything what was said, just you knew that somebody had said something, and I yelled back at him and I was like, what? And then I hear, what? So for a few seconds we were what, back and forth. And I was like, what did you say? He's like, I don't know, I was just asking you what you said. And I was like, oh, that was way too high pitched to be my husband. I was like, okay. Then we had one day that we came in, we make sure all of our doors are locked. So this door is always locked. My hallway door is always locked. The gray room's always locked, so you can't get past this part of the building. Came in, saw this door opened about this wide. That is one of my first things that I always check that's locked, is that door, because you can't get down the hallway if you can't get through there. So when I walked out of our kitchen down to the hallway, I saw the door open that wide. I turned around, abruptly and went back outside, and apparently I had a weird look on my face because I looked at him and I was like, I'm not going any further into the building until you're with me. As a precautionary thing that somebody didn't somehow manage to find their way in and forgot to lock it back. He goes and he does like whole military army thing, going in each room, checking and clearing every room. Nobody was here. Don't know how that door got open. Those are the main things on the first floor. The second floor would be just the constant feel when I go to clean that somebody is right on my heels, and somebody else found out as you walk through. They're very curious that you just have that feel somebody is right there with you, that presence. Never anything bad, anything negative, but you just feel them with you. Now the third floor, which is our apartment, the only thing that we have really noticed, or at least myself has noticed, and I was by myself upstairs, was I wasn't feeling good, so they kept me off of the floor so I didn't get anybody else sick. And being up there, just diddling on the computer, I felt somebody just kind of caressed my hair. I was like, it freaked me out because I have not been actually touched by anything not seeable. And my first thought process was, don't look in the computer, because if you see something and you're scared, this is not your computer. So don't look in the computer. But then I just was like, okay, we can't touch me, that's not okay. Never had anybody touch me again since then.
Hi, I've been bartending here for maybe 6 months now. And I noticed maybe a month ago or so, sometimes late at night when we have, Airbnb guests, we'll stay and hang out in the bar for a while. And in this particular night, everyone was in the bar for maybe 20 to 30 minutes. No one left the bar. And I poured a glass of a Cabernet Sauvignon, a red wine, for a lady who enjoys it very much. She's a regular here. And she wanted a second glass, and we didn't have the bottle anymore. So after I had set it down and had not walked out of the bar with this bottle at all, and no one had left the bar and had seen me put it down, because I remember we were talking about it some too. When she wanted the second glass, there was no longer the bottle. So if anything went missing, they went with an unchecked ID. And other than that, I feel like every time I walk through a room, I forget everything I was thinking in the previous room. And that's actually a joke we have going on. Like, we walk through an archway and we forget what we were thinking. But I will say it's particular here that I experienced that actually, and I have found it a little bit odd that it is particularly here that I feel like I do get a lot more aloof in my thoughts. And I don't experience that really much other places, even other places that I feel like that there were spirits or a feeling there.
After our interviews with the Buckhorn Inn staff, we sit down and have a meeting to game plan our investigation for the evening. Our cameraman Ashton is more than eager and ready to go. We also set up night vision binoculars in an area outside the inn where a few of our members had weird feelings earlier in the day. We'd like to share some of our investigation highlights with you. During this investigation, we would use equipment such as night vision binoculars, a thermal imaging camera, infrared cameras, audio recorders to do EVP work, as well as spirit box work, of which we would concentrate heavily on.
Can you see past me?
Yeah, it is. Oh, there it is.
Let me move this over here.
So you gentlemen come in and set. I just have to turn some lights off in the hallway.
Yeah, we're good.
To turn all of them off.
Yep.
I'm Becky.
I'm Lewis.
I'm Sheila.
You probably know our friends here.
Amanda.
Krista.
Daisy. Cool. We're not here to cause any trouble. We're just here to talk.
Are you the person that's been following me around in here all evening? Can you tell me what your name is? Do you know what the name of this place is?
Do you enjoy me living here with you?
How you doing? My name's Richard.
The building was built in 1811. Old Indian toilet paper.
You gotta use what you gotta use.
You ever touched that stuff before?
It's like prickly, right?
No, it's actually really soft.
Really? Go ahead, Ashton. Touch it.
Here,
It's like 10 foot down.
That's a little drop.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh no.
You sure?
You getting that?
Can you give us a name? What's your name?
We know from history that this was a stagecoach stop for the people of that Stanton going to West Virginia, and for West Virginia coming back to Stanton. Were you one of the folks that stopped here on the stagecoach for a few days?
When's your birthday? Who played with my hair?
Thank you for those answers. That was very polite, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Can you tell me how many people of us, how many of us do you see in this room? Can you give me a number? What'd you get? 4 or 5?
I got 4.
That's what I heard. I heard 4. Thank you.
I wonder if you can give me your name, please. This girl said there were 7 of them here. Did some of you have to leave?
Yes.
There's a gentleman sitting to my right in the chair. He lives in this establishment. Can you say his name?
How many of you are here with us in this room? How many of you are with us in this room?
Is there anyone that lives with you here in this house that you can name?
Someone trying to call us?
This is a beautiful room.
We are close to wrapping up our investigation here at Buckhorn Inn. This is Marty. It's going on 4 o'clock in the morning. So we get a little bit tired, winding down. I highly recommend it. Very good investigation tonight. Very good. I think we've got some pretty interesting data. Excited to go over and review it. And a special shout out and thanks to Jack, Amanda, Joe, Rachel, Krista, and some of the others. The staff is absolutely wonderful here, and the food is very good. You can't go wrong. I love the Buckhorn Inn, and very happy and thankful for the opportunity for us to investigate it tonight.
With the pleasure of going to Buckhorn Inn, one of the most hottest spots that night that we investigated out there was an upstairs room called the living room. It was also a room where a poker game was played, and a gentleman unfortunately got shot during the card game and passed away. Upon going into the room, I was approached by a very, very sweet female presence who I felt placed her arm around me and wanted to know who I was, what I was doing there, and how long I was going to be there. Needless to say, during the night, my name was mentioned several times on video captures throughout the night there, and seemed to be one of the more active spots at Buckhorn Inn.
Wow. What do you think?
Yeah, pretty amazing.
I was surprised.
Yeah.
What was your favorite room?
The poker room.
That was mine too. So back in the day, or now, it's the common room for the bed and breakfast area, but it was the poker room back in the heyday. I think what surprised me the most is usually we have to go back and review our recordings, our audio and our video, to confirm that we heard what we thought we heard, but this was clear.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't even have to review anything, and we could hear.
Yeah. Yeah, I was expecting some interaction, but not to the level that we got. I assumed that we would, draw attention to ourselves, but I really feel like that who was there was really interested in us and what we were doing, and interacting with us.
And polite. It was very polite.
Yes.
I mean, the folks we were interacting with, polite. It was amazing.
Yep. So when are we going back?
I would love to.
Yeah.
I would love to.
Yeah, we need to go back.
Yeah, I think it'd be worth it. I mean, because just talking with you and this, just confirming some of the things that we heard, yeah, I want to do it again.
Yeah.
Well, as far as the investigation goes, it went absolutely wonderful. Can't thank everybody enough. I'd like to give a big thank you and a big shout out to Amanda, Joe, Rachel, Krista, and everybody else. The staff was absolutely wonderful. We couldn't ask for any more. I'd also like to give a big thank you to the ownership for allowing us to investigate the Buckhorn Inn. A big thank you to Jack, Brenda, Brandon, and Danielle. Thank you so much for the opportunity, and we very much hope we can come back again. Moving on to the data and evidence, we did have a very productive investigation, particularly with audio and the spirit box. And again, particularly up on that second floor in the common room, or what is known as the poker room. Both teams that were in there had major success and a lot of really good answers that come across that spirit box. As far as our video data, that did not come up with anything paranormal or unexplained. And we did use a thermal imaging camera. We used night vision binoculars outside, as well as infrared cameras inside. But maybe next time we'll have better success with the video. Again, we're very stoked though with the audio evidence that we come across, some of which you were able to listen to from this video here. And we look very much forward to coming back and being able to build off of what we established the first investigation. Again, a big thank you to everybody. It's a wonderful investigation.